Well, good evening. Once again, the peace and unity of our region, but more specifically Kenya's neighbor Uganda, was put to test as a triple suicide bombing killed 3 people and wounded dozens in the heart of Uganda's capital. There was, however, no immediate claim of responsibility, but the police later on said intelligence had indicated that the Islamic State-aligned Allied Democratic Forces, ADF, were responsible. In response to this incident, the Kenya police, in a statement, reassured Kenyans that they were fully prepared to deal with any terror-related threats, both local and external. Our hearts go out to our brothers and sisters in Uganda who lost their family members and those affected by today's occurrences. May the Lord grant you all the peace and justice you truly desire. Tonight, we look into the developments on the political front as Raila Odinga, in his coastal tour, spoke on the Msambweni by-election results, saying UDA shouldn't thump their chest as the votes that were made of that particular election were nothing but misplaced ODM votes due to the ongoing current wrangles they were experiencing as a party at that particular time. We also tried to make a meaning of certain remarks that were made by the second-in-command Deputy President William Ruto in his latest sit-down interview in one of the local media stations. My name is Adan Keynan, and this is Punchline. With that said, let's begin by having a look at that weekly wrap of the political occurrences.
Ndugu zetu wako katika vuguvugu ya oka.
Sisi katika ANC hatutaki Musalia awekwe kwa parking.
Tumeona wameanza kulalamika.
Hawa wa Kenya wanataka kujua ni nani atakuwa president, nani atakuwa deputy president. Tunataka tujue candidate wetu mara moja, twende kazi. Tunataka tujue presidential candidate wa One Kenya Alliance by 25th of December. Tukimaliza 25th of December, kama One Kenya Alliance hatujapata presidential candidate, we shall look for other friends.
Hasra Nation ni nyumba kubwa na tunakaribisha kila mtu.
Na mtu asiwaambie ati Musalia akianguka kura ati sisi tumekwisha. Hata Raila hajaipita kura yoyote, lakini anakuanga kwa serikali zote.
Kama Musalia anakuja kuongea kwa mimi, tuongee, if you can convince me, tutakaa chini.
Support one of your own ndio tuheshimike.
Lakini kama mimi hajakuja kwangu, hajaniongelesha, yani mimi nikipeleke huko.
Wewe shikana na Musalia.
Mbona wakati niliwaambia na Malala wewe ulikuwa hapo. Niliwaambia wakuje hii ANC, wakuje Fort Kenya na mimi nitoke kwa ODM, tuunde chama kimoja kikubwa, mbona hawajafanya hivi?
Unavuta pande moja, ndugu yako anavuta pande moja, mimi sioni kama hiyo ni mzuri.
He must talk to me as a principal.
Wale tunashindana na wao mpaka saa hizi karibu watu 8 wameketi meza moja, kila mtu wako na chama yake.
I want to see Kibwana on the same, and I will be there also, and I can be the chair.
Sisi Ukambani tunamtambua Kalonzo Musyoka.
Anajulikana Kenya nzima. Ni kweli na sijisifu, ni vile tumbo sio kubwa sana.
Mjiuke na sisi tuunde Kenya moja.
Hatutaki kuambiwa tuingie kwa chama ama mahali tuambiwe tuingie na ni kwa mtu boma. Tukiingia huko apoeshe stima kutakuwa namna gani?
Badala ya laptop anatafuta huyo baro.
Ojeni kwanza tubadilishe uchumi, hawa wangwana wapate ajira, wajisimamie, walipe ushuru, tuweze kuendesha Kenya mbele.
DDC walikuwa naita bottoms up. Hiyo DDC ilikuwa naita bottoms. Kwa hivyo ile vile wanasema sasa wale wengine sio kitu mpya. Hii ni DDC tu ndio wanaongoja yake.
Mnataka kusukuma wilbaro? Mmekataa.
Mpaka tuende tuletewe mtu ya kitendawili ati akuja atuongoze.
Rais wa 5 wa Jamhuri ya Kenya atakuwa si mwingine bali ni Baba Raila Amolo Odinga.
So right now, I'm the only one in the race for ODM and I'm confident I will win that seat.
Serikali ni mbili. Kuna serikali ya juu, hiyo itakuwa ya Raila na Ruto.
As he said, he's standing. He has said. So I don't know about that.
Wale wanataka ile kiti kubwa, sababu hata sisi tuko na mtoto wetu hapo. Mukitaka muongee na yeye.
I think the other 2 competitors who had put in an application have withdrawn their applications. I am so far the only competitor, so I don't know who you are expecting me to compete against.
Hii kura na mawe ina uhusiano gani?
This country is beyond that sort of politics. If you do not want to hear somebody speak, don't attend their function.
Tabia siasa ya mawe ni ya karne ile iliyopita.
Kama mtu anataka kuomba kura, wacha aongee, aombe, akimaliza afanye nini? Aende.
Mambo ya vita na ghasia haitasaidia mtu yote.
Pre-election violence will most likely poison the main elections. We don't want a violent election in Kenya again.
So if we allow violence to define our politics, then we are going to be a nation of goons.
We want to condemn the violence. Kila mtu ana uhuru ya kutembea Kenya hii kila mahali.
Vijana msikubali kutumiwa na wanasiasa. Watoto wao wanasoma ng'ambo na pengineko, na nyinyi wenu unapatiwa shilingi 20, piga Kalonzo mawe.
Well, that's what happened right in Kenya in the political scene for the past 1 week. And allow me to introduce my guests for this evening in this conversation they're going to have tonight. On my immediate left is Farah Maalim, the Deputy Vice Chair, Wiper Party leader and former Speaker of the National Assembly. Also, we have Omingo Magara, the National Treasurer of the UDA Party, as well as Honorable Adan Keynan, eldest Member of Parliament and Joint Secretary, Jubilee Parliamentary Group. Gentlemen, thank you very much for making time for us this evening. I want to begin with you, Honorable Adan, just before we even get into the politics that we've just watched right there. Of course, today we know very well that Miguna was supposed to jet back into the country, but in a statement that was released by Air France, they stated that they were issued with a fresh red alert. What is the case right here with this Miguna's case, considering you're in government? What really is happening? Because from the word that's going around and what people are saying, it's slowly turning into a case versus the government.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm not privy to the details of the particular case.
Yeah.
But I think all of us must subject ourselves to the rule of law. Miguna must subject himself to the rule of law, and those he perceives to be against him must also subject themselves to the rule of law, because that's the only shield that we have as a civilized society. Otherwise, I'm not privy to the details, I have not followed, and therefore you will allow me so that I don't delve into an issue that can be defined as sub judice.
Yeah.
So allow me to just leave it there until I familiarize myself with the nitty-gritty of what he wants, what happened today, and what ought to happen in a civilized society.
All right, fair enough. Well, Farah, you've heard very well what Honorable Adan has said, that everybody should be subjected to the rule of law. What do you think is happening here based on what Miguna has been complaining about over time, that he's basically being frustrated by the government of the day?
I don't have the facts of the matter.
Yeah.
But it's either one of two. Either he's using his Canadian passport to travel into the country,
yeah,
or he has gone to the Keynan embassy and taken what you call a go home.
Okay.
Using his own heritage. You see, there is a number of ways to become a citizen of a country.
Okay.
And some of them can even be revoked. The ones by registration. We have a system in a number of countries. If you can bring an investment of so much, then you qualify to become a citizen of that country.
Okay.
And many people do have a dual citizenship in the process. But the citizenship by descent, that your roots are there,
yeah,
is a citizenship that can never be taken away from you. You can invoke it anytime.
Okay.
Now, if he is come in with a go home, where has he been stopped? Has he been stopped at the point of boarding the plane, or has been stopped somewhere along the transit route? I'm asking you that question now.
He was stopped back in Germany, where he was supposed to board the flight Air France to Kenya, but they were.
So he had already taken a flight from Canada, come all the way to and was coming in here.
Yes.
I think that's you know, there's something called the rule of law.
Okay.
And there's something called the rule by law.
Okay.
And I think that would be a travesty of the basic rights of every Kenyan, everybody whose roots are here. You cannot take away, you can't stop him in another country.
Okay.
If he chose at the point of boarding the very first time, either to come with his Canadian passport, because dual citizenship is allowed in the country, to come and put his claims for his citizenship or restoration of his citizenship, or he went to the Kenyan Embassy High Commission there and took what you call a document to bring him here, which could also involve denouncing his own Canadian citizenship if he did, which I don't. Right. I doubt he did. Yeah. So either way, to stop him somewhere along the way, because he must have followed the law in the first place. With the Canadian passport, you get a visa at the airport, say JKA. Yeah. So why would a white man or a brown man or a black man from Guyana or from Barbados or from anywhere else come with his own passport, travel all the way and get his visa in here, and a Kenyan by descent, you stop him from getting boarding the plane to come to his country?
I guess we can leave that as that, because the government is yet to respond.
Let's wait exactly and get
for that response.
I'm giving these different scenarios.
All right.
So if it's a rule by law,
yes,
is basically using the law to achieve your own personal or collective, what do you call, desires, which means you're defeating the purpose of the law itself.
We'll get to that when the time allows us. Omingo, thank you very much.
Can I have a bite on that?
No, I mean, we need to move on and get into the politics today. But yeah, just let me give you
a bite on that. Truly, this government is on record having defied almost about a number of court orders in favor of Miguna.
Yeah.
Truly, I think it's unfair and the travesty of justice that somebody who's coming back home, and I remember Jaramogi Oginga did say, if you are really worried about whether this man is a Kenyan or not, he said, to be a Kenyan, you must origin from a tribe. And not that you're not a tribalist, but you are choosing your roots. Anybody can know for sure that Miguna is a Kenyan by Luo descent, for instance. He's actually somebody who perhaps maybe Miguna knows too much. And I think that he's on the other side of the divide. He's a poisonous nut here. And I think the rule, as my brother said, people are using the law against their own citizens. And I think it's extremely unfair. Intolerance at the highest order, and of course the constitution we have to promulgate in 2010, we need to respect it really at the very basic. So I think with tremendous respect, disobedience of the court orders is a breakdown of law and order, and when that happens, it spirals on to every citizen of this country. Then there will be lawlessness in this country. Nobody will be safe.
All right. Well, just to give the government of the day the benefit of the doubt, of course, they're yet to respond to that fresh alert that was issued.
There are many people who still find their way into our parliaments, but who carry other passports in addition to the Kenyan passports. Yeah. And now that the Constitution allows dual citizenship, we basically have found a way to regularize it easily.
All right.
Now, to single out an individual because of a political persuasion and bring in the full force of the government and using, like I said, rule by law, is in my opinion, a travesty of. It happened to us. It happened. In 1989, we were subjected to what was called a screening process, in which somebody decided that they could even take away our citizenship from here without taking away our land. Garissa does not belong to a Luo or a Luya or a Kikuyu. It belongs to Somali.
Yeah.
So when you tell that Somali you are not a Kenyan, you're actually saying that Garissa is not part of Kenya, or Wajir or Mandera for that matter.
Okay.
So there are certain mistakes we make in this country which are very juvenile in a sense, and you wonder with the two of these people who are able to make this very, 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 illogical. You set a trend.
Yeah.
You set a precedent, which is going to haunt you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's not good. It's not good because somebody can come back and say, look, your great-great-grandfather came from the Congo forest and 20 years down the line decide to take away your citizenship because you're a serious candidate for the presidency and he thinks the only way to get you out is to say that your roots are there.
Okay,
and anybody can do that.
Well, we don't necessarily.
When we toy around with this thing, the citizenship of this country, and try and make it difficult for certain individuals or group of people or the rest of them, I think we are toying with something that can have serious ramifications in the future, and some cantankerous, what do you call, despot can use it against you. The same way Chiluba tried to use against Kaunda. I mean, how do you declare a president of a country? former president of the country, as an non-citizen of this country, because he had the instruments of power with him.
All right.
So
well, I think we can leave it at that, but just based on the fact that we are actually analyzing this from face value, we are yet to get direction from the government, and I believe moving on, we can know how to dissect further into this conversation. Omingo, let me just begin with you on this political front. Of course, we watched the videos right there, and we saw Raila Odinga took his campaigns to the coastal region, and he made a certain statement there alluding to the fact that UBA shouldn't thump their chest just because you want them some winning by-elections. And this was because at that particular time, ODM had internal party wrangles, and that is why you had a field day.
I give it back to them that it is courtesy of their lack of internal democracy that their wrangles as such. And if they cost you, please don't cry foul, because it is not, that's a self-inflicted injury. How do we come in? For instance, if somebody has won, whether the opponent took the vote by persuasion, it then does not nullify that win which the independent candidate got. So basically, if you are admitting that there were mistakes, hoping that then you, going forward, you learn from those mistakes. Otherwise, if they're repeated again, like traditionally they are done, for sure it's going to cost them even more. Because, it is not enough to say that we are problems. And if you know there were problems, why did you fix them? And some of us, perhaps who left, have a reason to say the tape is playing back. So let's not cry foul over mistakes that are really caused by ourselves, and that we expect sympathy. And that it went where it went. Whoever was announced a winner, he is a winner. Not how he won, but he has become a winner, and that seat counts. Because basically everybody else was there to campaign for that independent candidate. Not anybody whom the other side who are sympathizing with the independent candidate went, but they still carried the day. So we're saying if a moment has come to define ourselves, accept it as it comes. Let's not be in denial. The denial we have, like of Miguna, is coming back to haunt us. So long as we realize that is a problem, fix it before it cannibalizes you.
Okay, well, of course, we'll get to the perception that statement made later on. Honorable Adan, you are just warming up for the NDC that's coming on the 30th of November, and we're not necessarily privy to the agenda of the day, but just based on speculation and what has been going around, some of the key things that are supposed to be handled in that meeting is the registration of the DP as the deputy party leader, as well as the expulsion of certain members. Now, TSP leader Mwangi Kiunjuri, in one of his interviews, rubbished this claim, saying very well that that's going to be a tall order for you to do that. Of course, the deputy president is supposed to pursue the route of court. In an event, you as a party get to remove him as the deputy party leader. So what are you looking at here?
I think first, the NDC is one of the organs of Jubilee. Actually, Article 7(1) of the Jubilee Party Constitution provides for both the function and the constitution of the NDC. Secondly, the agenda has already been, it's in the public domain. I thought you were only assuming that you have not seen it. It was carried actually in all major news outlets. So the agenda is known, it's in the public domain. And anything else that will come as a result of an AOB will be decided by the delegates. So anything else right now remains speculation. What the delegates will decide, how they will go about their business, is going to be guided by the constitution of the party, by the rule of natural justice, by the constitution, and any other law, in particular the Political Parties Act. So this other hullabaloo that you're hearing is speculation. But one thing that I can confirm, without fear of contradiction, that those who have left Jubilee will have no room to participate in that NDC. And therefore, those who have already built a new home for themselves, or those who are still struggling to build new political homes for themselves, we wish them well. Let them go where they think they properly belong. So, these other things of being in one leg, in one party, and then you want to harass people in another party, I think will come to an end on that particular day. So for us, we are not worried. That NDC will be for those who have opted to remain in Jubilee as their party of choice. Those who have left, we wish them well. Please mind about your business. You have left Jubilee. If they come back, apologize, and come back to the fold and renew their membership, they will have an opportunity, because Jubilee is a democratic party.
Is the deputy president invited for this NDC?
Let me not comment, but certainly you know where he is. You know the political formation, and therefore let me leave that. But I can tell you, without fear of contradiction, that those who will be invited are those who have not gone publicly, those who have not left Jubilee, and they know themselves. So let me leave that decision for the NDC.
Farah, you've heard what Honorable Adan has talked about, and you know very well what sort of conversation you're going to be having as from next week, because you're going to have the faction of leaders who are allied to the UDA party state very clearly that they weren't invited. So how do they trade between this line of not being invited for this particular NDC, then again they suffer the repercussions?
There's a bit of a contradiction in here.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the contradiction within the framework of what is happening right now in Jubilee, but contradiction in the way we want to run political parties in this country. What's provided for in the laws and in the Constitution. You only cease to become a member of a party when you resign from that party, or you register yourself in another party. So anybody who is in Jubilee, but who went ahead and registered UDA as a member of UDA, will automatically have lost his place in Jubilee.
All right.
And on an ipso facto basis, that person, if he's a member of parliament, also loses the parliamentary seat.
But does the Constitution not necessarily define that?
It's defined fully. When you are in a party and you join another party, you cannot be party. You cannot be a member of two parties.
Yes.
So it's not like a dual citizenship where you can have a citizenship of two countries. But here, you have to resign from one party to become a member of the other party. But should you proceed and join another party, officially, with your own signature and the rest of it,
which I believe they have already done.
If they've done that, then they've lost their seats in parliament.
Okay.
It's just a question of that information going to the speaker, and the speaker is going to go ahead and use what you call the provisions of the Constitution itself and the laws, the Political Parties Act, and make sure that those people are no longer in parliament. And then, of course, decide, there's a way we look at if we can hold an election. Usually if the period between the general election and the time is so short, then you don't 6 months. You cannot hold a by-election.
Okay.
You will have to wait, and that seat remains vacant for all it's worth. Yeah. So these are the kind of things you're going to deal with. But I just want everybody to observe the law, observe the rules, and basically let's all work within the armpits of the law.
All right, fair enough. We'll pick it up. Just allow us to pick this short break. When we get back, I'll be getting back with you and you can pick it up from there. Let's take another break right here on the Punchline. We'll be getting back with some news of the day and, of course, continue with the conversation.